Hi, I know who you are. Did you just look at me up and down?
And I'm fine with it.
Hi everyone. In today's video, we're talking about Amber Reid's new live stream in which she wears a crown and goes after reaction channels, talks about how data entry work is easier than doing a 38-minute live stream once in a while. Amber, I thought that you promised everyone your paying members a 1-hour live stream twice a week. Talk about being in breach of your contract. So we're going to get into all the drama. Amber's a queen of what? This is my favorite YouTuber, the most entertaining, wonderful girl in school. So if you could not tell already from this intro, everything I'm saying is just for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take anything I say seriously. I'm sharing opinions, not facts, on publicly accessible information, first made public by public figures. Entertainment purposes only. Please don't go to these people's channels and leave mean-spirited negative comments. So our girl says very interesting things in this live stream. I call it live streams. So first, she ponders the error of her ways and says, you know what, I don't think I could post every day in November. I don't think that I could do one live stream in November. And there's nothing wrong with that. Amber, we all know that you do not like to work and that you are desperate to do this job just so you can stay at home and not go anywhere. And deep down inside, you must know that even if somebody hires you, and I always believe that somebody will hire her, that you will not be able to keep that job. So Amber, just listen. What I never understood about her is, why does she make these ridiculous promises and then goes back on them? Yes, she doesn't think, surprise, surprise, everybody, hold on to your Kermits. She doesn't believe that she can do one live stream a day in November. Wonderful. Allow the shock to set in. I would like all of us to have a moment of silence for the stunning turn of events to stun us. The moment is over. It never happened. Amber, stop making announcements and make moves, but you're not going to make moves, okay? I told you she won't be able to do it every day. Imagine not being able to do something for 10 minutes a day, even, that will make you money. Okay, wonderful. So then the conversation turns into, at first it was like the typical situation type nightmare, but then it turned into something very interesting. Okay, and I hardly ever say that when she starts talking about her whatever stuff. So first she says that reaction channels do not affect her. She doesn't watch them at all. They used to affect her a year and a half ago, you see. That's the last time she watched a reaction channel, which is just... I mean, Amber, we all saw your search history. I didn't really discuss it a lot, but in one of her Crash Out live streams, she showed her search history, and she was searching only reaction channels and questionable other videos that I'm not going to mention here. But anyways, so she says that absolutely not. She doesn't watch reaction channels. They do not affect her. She's finally free of them. But remember when she says this. So, sometimes she sees people leaving her negative super chats, and I implore you, please stop paying her to insult her. It is such a waste of your time. Here's the thing. People insult her for free on the internet, and the people that pay, I just want you to think about this. Take that money and buy yourself something. In my opinion, take that money and donate it to a charity of your liking, because she loves when people talk about her negatively and positively. Okay, it's not worth it. She's never going to change, okay, at all. Nothing. So anyways, so as people are leaving her not the nicest statements, she starts saying, oh, thanks for the money. Thanks for the money. Now, this part is funny. She's like, you're the one keeping my lights on. Okay. Did you ever hear me say that over and over and over again in most of my videos? I always say, these people keep your lights on. Now, I am not saying that I invented the phrase. I'm not the first or the last or even the 17th, this is the math channel, to say it. But if she says that she absolutely doesn't watch reaction channels, why is it that over the years she's repeated the statements that I've made verbatim, this is the vocabulary channel, and answered questions that I've posed here, and the same for all the other reaction channels, right? Why do you say phrases that you hear reaction channels specifically say and answer their questions? It's because she's not free of reaction channels, and there's a very simple reason why she continues to watch reaction channels. She's obviously lying. I mean, we go through this all the time. I don't watch reaction channels, then she regurgitates everything that we say, right? The simple reason that she continues to watch reaction channels is it's about her. She is obsessed with herself. It's not that she loves, I want to make this clear. I don't think that she's obsessed with reaction channels and loves reaction channels because the content is overwhelmingly, sophisticated or something like that. No, it's because it's about her. She's obsessed with herself, and where else can she go where everyone's talking about her? The forums and reaction channels. Okay, then she starts an even deeper convo. So she basically says that she used to do data entry 6 days a week, and this was easier for her to do. And it's true, she did have jobs. Like she had like a caretaker job. Imagine she had a caretaker job in a certain facility, and she was, helping people out. And then also she did data entry. Okay, it's okay. She's not telling you that she spent most of her time at this data entry job in the bathroom hiding because she didn't want to work. She's not telling you that. But by the way, it's on her channel. And if you put into the YouTube search Amberlynn at her jobs, Amberlynn working, you'll see what I'm talking about. She won't delete it because she thinks she's right. Anyways. So she starts talking about this job, and she says that this was so much more easier for her to do than her YouTube job, because once she came home, that was it. She didn't have to worry about it. And YouTube, she says, is a type of job where for her specifically, she's got to worry about doxing, bothering, and people are constantly talking about her, and it's a 24/7 job. Now, we're going to get into that, but let's just stop right here. It doesn't have to be like that. For example, I understand that she gets a lot of criticism, okay? And I understand her reputation, which is completely her fault, by the way. Take some responsibility, Lynn Reid. But you don't need to have a TikTok. You don't need to have Insta. I don't have an Insta or a TikTok for Karina Kaboom, right? There's plenty of people that can have a social media job on YouTube that do not have social media. So it's like really much harder to contact them, right? That's first of all. Second of all, when you say that, people are coming at you 24/7 and bothering you, not only do you have the ability to turn off comments on your videos, and she doesn't do that because she'll get less views, but at this point, I mean, what are you really getting at this point? Because there's no drama, so people don't care, so the views have dipped, right? Not only can you turn off comments, Amber, which you choose not to do because your negative comments bring you engagement. Not only can you completely permanently delete all your social media so people have no way of contacting you, but third, math channel, you can just simply stop looking yourself up. Stop going to all of these websites and looking up what people say about you. Turn off the DMs. You know why she's not doing this? First of all, like I just said, she's obsessed with listening to herself. I mean, she's obsessed with herself, but deeper than that. If she gets rid of social media, she'll never find another girlfriend again because she is so enlightened that she feels she can't go on a dating site to find girlfriends because she wants people to already immediately like her. She doesn't want to go through the dating process. She wants somebody to message her on TikTok or Instagram and say, hi, I'm interested in you, blah, 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 instead of going on like a dating site, like the majority of people, and going through the dating process where some people don't like you. Amber, all of your problems are centered around you because they are you. You are so obsessed with yourself. I just gave, examples of how one thing affects the other. That's why she won't delete the social media. There is a way not to hear or read or know anything that people are saying about you. No social media, and get rid of your comments, Amber. And stop going on reaction channels, comments, and stop doing this. She will never stop doing this because her social media is the only way that she interacts with people, all people, and gets girlfriends. Then she starts bringing up Michael B. Petty, and she says that she misses Michael B. Petty, who was a reaction channel. He doesn't post anymore. I mean, on YouTube, as far as Amber's concerned. And she says, she loved it when people said negative things about Pillow Mountain. Those are the pillows on her, bed. And she loved when people were like talking about like silly things and criticizing silly things because now people want to ruin her life. First of all, if Michael came back to YouTube and talked about you, oh, honey, be careful what you wish for, okay? Because I think it would be fabulous, but that's just my opinion, okay? The thing is that she's trying to say that in the past, reaction channels were, I guess, like nicer to her or didn't talk about as much as they talk about now. She's saying that reaction channels want to ruin her life. None of us care enough about your life to even want to affect it in any way. This is just a job. I've said this before. Even if the reaction channels or anyone doesn't come out here and say, I'm doing this in exchange for money, that's what a job is. I'm sorry to let you know, you're not that important, Lynn Reid. I mean, it's YouTube is a job for people that make it a job. There's some people that don't monetize their content, but most people talking about Amber do for a reason. Okay, here's the thing. She always wants to make it like there's been a giant change in what's happening instead of accepting that she's the nexus. You're the whole common denominator and problem. Why do I say this? In the past, Michael, for example, who used to make videos about you, he knew exactly who you were. If you go back to those videos, you'll see the early things that he says about her. They're exactly, those videos could have been uploaded and posted now because they're exactly true. But the one thing that people, the reaction channels, didn't have back then that we have now is we have the gift of knowing that what everybody thinks about you is actually true because now your ex-girlfriends have come out to expose you. That's the big difference, Amber. If you're wondering why things have gotten worse, it's because the way you treat people, this is it. The way you treat people in the background of your life, the way you treat people behind the scenes has now been exposed. So of course it seems like it's more hectic to you because now people have had their suspicions confirmed. Here's a basic question to Amber Reid, and she still hasn't answered it. Why did you steal your roommate's late mother's washcloths, use it repeatedly, and force Beck to wash it in the sink instead of at least throwing it out, apologizing, and buying them more washcloths? She'll never answer that question. And that right there is why there's more discourse on you, social media personality. Go try to sue for that. Oh, that's right. You're now making more money. The problem in the situation is that she thinks that reaction channels have changed and people are trying to ruin her life. No, the only thing, first of all, there's less people talking about her now than ever because without people exposing her, content is boring. What are you going to talk about? Going to bingo with mommy? Like she tried to pretend on Halloween that she went out and she really went to Halloween bingo? Please stop, Amber. The point of the story is the reason that it feels more extreme is only because people have had their suspicions confirmed. So when she says now people are trying to ruin my life, you feel that way because all of your exes, people in your personal life, Valentine, Tommy, Beck, okay, Destiny, have all come out and exposed you for exactly what people thought that you were. That's why it feels more extreme, and that's why there's more drama a little bit now, because of course people have had their suspicions confirmed. All of this can be taken away in an instant. Go delete your channel, stop posting. Or what's behind door number 2? Have you ever thought about treating people well in your personal life so that they don't have a desire to expose you? I have not seen any other YouTuber except for her have so many people from their private life come out and expose them. She's literally the only one on all of YouTube. Have you ever thought about why? It's because of how you treat people behind the scenes. It's important to say here that she does admit that she did this to herself. She admits she puts herself in this position, and also says that it's really bad 24/7. But obviously, I believe that she can't quit because it's a really easy job for her that she barely shows up to. I think, my opinion, she only says that it's pretty much like she put herself into this and it's her fault because she knows that's going to be the criticism, not because she believes it. I think that there's no reason to go real life with her, and her community sometimes does, and most reaction channels don't, when she says that people are trying to contact her doctor or people are trying to ruin her life. She won't tell you that she's the one that put it out there first. You dox the urology clinic. You continuously put out your health information out there. Like, I'm pretty sure, even though I have a different response from my audience than she does, if I continuously put out my medical information out there, people probably be interested to some degree. I'm not saying a lot, but she is the nexus of all her problems. She then says that she feels it's unfair. Go get a real job. You need a blankie, Pookie. And says that and she just keeps, okay, this is something that she keeps straight out lying about. And it's not because she doesn't understand the difference. It's because she believes that if she keeps saying something, a percentage of people will start believing her. You know, you're not going to reach everybody all the time, but she wants to reach a percentage of people that just, there's some people just believe everything she says. What she says here is a complete blatant lie, and you know it, Amber. I know what you're doing. She says that reaction channels in their communities bother her. She uses a different word. But the people who only watch her don't bother her. And that there's a big difference. She's been saying this for a while, that there's a difference between the community that watches her and don't watch reaction channels and the community that watch reaction channels. Let me explain something to you, Amberlynn Reid. The people that claim that they don't watch reaction channels do, and they just don't want to hurt your feelings by telling you that they do. And are there some people that don't? Yes. But if these people can see the terrible things that you do to people and be okay with it, of course you want that type of support, because you want somebody to be a yes man. You want somebody to be an enabler, and reaction channels in your community are not. Bottom line here is this: the community that she has created are full of an audience that watch reaction channels, because reaction channels give your audience a voice that you block and don't respond to and lie to. It's all the same community, Pookie. Amber, it's time to take responsibility for what you've done. You have cultivated this community, and it's all the same community. Don't let her fool you. It's the same community. Isn't that interesting? What an interesting conversation with our favorite YouTuber, Amber Reid. So she's wearing a crown in this video. She says it's because she's a queen and a princess. And she says it's because it's still Halloween weekend. Make no mistakes about it. She's doing this for two reasons. She does believe that she's better than everybody. She is incredibly smug in this video. Smuglin makes the entire appearance, okay? She's clearly narcissistic, Lynn, and smuggling. I don't know what you're so smug over. I understand it's the duper's delight in getting people to pay you for doing nothing. But meanwhile, back on planet Earth, I just don't, honestly, like, you know, it's okay that you're doing this, Amber, because the level of delusion that a person has to have to believe that they are better than others is fantastic. So continue to believe you're the queen. But the second reason that she's doing this, and this is the main reason she's wearing the crown, it's not because of Halloween, and later she has this moment where she's like, just stop, it's because it's Halloween. No, it's because she knows that you're going to be upset when you see her in a crown and smug and have a reaction to it. She's rage baiting you and she's trolling you. She knows exactly how to get people to talk about her. She's upset that people talk about her, but she knows what buttons to push. Listen, we all do. You think that I can't come on here and say certain things to get you to talk about me? I choose not to. People still will talk about public figures, but what I'm saying is, every YouTuber knows what to say to get others to talk about them. So Amber, you can continue to have your duper's delight over what? Your fantastic life. You can continue to rage bait, pretending that you're a queen, and she continues to say that she's a queen, but we all know why you're really doing this. This is a cry for help and a cry for attention, because no one else does this because they're actually secure within themselves. There's a difference between narcissism and being secure within yourself. So she says she's going to time people out when she sees fit. Okay. She also says she needs to give people a warning when she comes on live stream so that they can be here and ready. Who do you think your members are? They actually have real jobs. They have to clean the house. They actually have to do chores, not like you, just let everything go. And Twinkie goes on the pads. But more about her pets later. So basically, as far as you believing that your audience is going to be immediately there if you tell them that you're going live, please. Girl, bye. And she says that she only comes live when the energy is right. Also known as, Mommy had something to do today. That's why Pookie came live. Okay. So she then says this may seem like nothing, but it's something. She says, why do we look different in pictures, and the mirror and videos? Like, why do we all look so differently in the pictures and the mirrors and in the videos? Only you do, Queen. The rest of us don't filter ourselves into absurdity. Reason why I said that it may seem like nothing that she's talking about it, but it's something. So this is like an Easter egg. She knows that everybody's currently talking about how she overfilters herself and how when people bump into her in the streets, it's a different story and how she's continuously using filters. So she'll bring it up without bringing it up. You understand? It's a manipulation tactic. When you need to bring something up and pretend you're asking a question about the topic that's always being talked about. Then says that she's not going to do mukbangs anymore, right? She's like, I don't know about that. She gets asked about it. The reason that she doesn't want to do mukbangs is because her videos have been taken down repeatedly for TOS violations. When she has told YouTube publicly on her channel that she has a certain problem, she has forfeited her right, doesn't want to admit it. There was an issue where Twinkie was crying in one of her last streams and people wanted to know why. She said that the cats were eating and Twinkie also wanted to eat. Did you not feed her? Or did you just overstuff the, bowl of food and leave with mommy? Yeah, like you haven't done that before. Hey, remember when Amber left Twinkie shaking in pain and went with her ex Destiny to Chili's instead of taking Twinkie to the 24-hour vet? Kermit remembers. Okay, my Kermit. Anyways, you know what it is? I just have to say this about her pets and everything and just everything. With her, the worst always turns out to be true. And that's really just like the sad part, She said that she's used to all of Twinkie's sounds, but, she just didn't think anything of it. And she's obsessed. She actually says this, I'm obsessed with people caring so much about Twinkie. She's my best friend. Amber, if Twinkie was your best friend, do you think that you would leave your best friend shaking in pain and go out to Chili's instead of Googling, which would have taken 1 minute, a 24-hour bet? When you lived with your roommates. I don't think so. She tells people the following: if you guys want to continue to talk, become a member. Well, don't mind if I don't. I can't imagine what I'd be missing out on. You lying all the time, you not showing up, flaking out on this. Look, here's the thing. Amber, the way that you treat even paying members is incredibly rude and disingenuous and disrespectful. Then says how much she loves her members.
Nurse, clear my schedule.
If you even respected your members, you would give them a time and a place that you were going to be at every week, and you would not dump them for months on end and still collect the check every month, okay? She then says that she's okay with having a hilariously slow chat, that people are slowly chatting. Look, she may have slow mode on. Who cares? Bottom line is, Amber is so smug. She gets smugger and smugger. That's not a real word. This is a vocabulary channel. Her behavior is just like indicative of that she believes she's better than other people. Okay. So she then says that she will silence people for 24 hours if they say awful things. But the things that they say are true, Pookie. And she says, we're not here for negative vibes. Who are you kidding? That's all you have, Pookie. Okay. She then says that people throw words around and people need help. Well, here's a whole sentence for you, Pookie, okay? Rarity was invaluable, but you lost her because you only cherish what others can do for you. There you go, with verbs and everything. I told you this was a vocabulary channel. So she then talks about buying 13, okay, listen, this is a math channel. She bought a $1,300 vlogging camera and she shows it off, and she's like upset because now like it makes everything, yellow. Like, you spent 1,300. I told you this was a math channel. I love it. Vocabulary and math channel at the same time. And now you can't even use it. You know why she showed it? Because she's going to write it off on her taxes. 100 on that. It's my opinion, but I'm 100. So what is the point of Amber constantly buying vlogging cameras? And listen to this. She's very, very sneaky. She literally, on purpose. You think it's mundane. It's not. It's calculated, okay? She says, I bought this for Vlogmas so that there's proof on the internet that she says that she bought it for work. You get it? Now she doesn't have to pay 1,300 on her taxes. And by the way, I know you don't have to write it in the comments that that's not the way that things work. I know that you can't just do that, but the thing is that Amber's doing this on purpose. I'm not talking about what's actually legal. I'm talking about what I believe, in my opinion, she's actually doing. Next, the conversation turns to her animals, her pets. And I have seen Amber demonstrate to us over and over and over again this manipulation tactic. So basically, what Amber does is talk very highly about her pets and say how obsessed she is with her pets, how they're obsessed with her, how it's the most important thing to her. In this live stream, she says that she gives 90% of herself to her pets. Notice how she doesn't say 100%, because even when she lies, she always tells the truth. If you take nothing away from this video, take this. Even a lie is very telling. Okay, one of the most telling things that a person can do is lie to you. And if you remember that, you'll be much better off in any relationship you have with somebody who's deceiving you. So she talks about how she taught Romeo, her new kitten, to play fetch, and she says she always wanted to have a cat who would, play fetch, and now she does, and all it took was for you to lose Rarity, anything at Rarity's expense. By the way, none of your audience and most reaction channels, I doubt, will let you live down what you've done to Rarity. We all know what you did, and I'm going to repeat it forever until you either admit what you did or somebody exposes you that knows more. We all know that you lost her in quotation marks, and that it enabled you to stay longer at your ex-girlfriend's house who was kicking you out. You conveniently, by magic, I love it when magic gets involved, get your own channel, magic. By magic, you were able to stay in Wisconsin longer. We all know what you did to Rarity, okay? So she then answers somebody who says, make sure that, your cats don't explore too hard. And she says all pets should be exploring, hard and all this other stuff. And she lets her animals go on counters because, they have such, small worlds. You know why you let your animals go on encounters? And this is not judgment for those of you that do or don't, because I certainly don't care. This is simply about Amber Reid and no one else. She says that it's because it's in the best interest of the cat, but it's in the best interest and the greater good of Queenie over there. She doesn't want to lift a finger. She doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't want to... Listen, this is about what can she do about it. She doesn't care. She goes on and on how much she loves her pets. If you loved your pets, you wouldn't lose 2 of them, and you lost Rarity multiple times. She reiterates throughout the video that she is not back with Tommy. She says that they did break up. Somebody accuses her of not breaking up, and she's like, no, we did break up, but thank you for the money. So she keeps saying that. So this is a smug and disrespectful way of treating people. Amber, when you're 24-hour cash machine, also known as YouTube, eventually ends, when people get bored, because I'm going to tell you this, because, listen, talk about reading a room. I know that people are a little bit bored right now. Well, not a little, but, I know that people are waiting for the next big drama to happen to Amber. Don't worry, it's coming, okay? This is a slow burn, meaning that Foodie Beauty is always like drama 24/7. This woman is a slow burn. You have to wait. You got to wait until the drama comes in her life. It's coming. So Amber, once people get bored enough, because one day the Kermit train is going to stop, meaning that, at some point she's going to have, no more drama unless she creates it. But the point is that at some point when your train of money ends with YouTube, what are you going to do? You're going to beg those followers of yours, those members of yours, you're going to wish that you treated them well, but you didn't, okay? She then continues on the nonsense where she is, I know this is such a rudimentary manipulation tactic. She continues to say things about her pets that make her, like, if you just are just tuning into Amber Reid, she seems like a nice girl and she seems like she loves her pets. Says that her furniture was made for her pets and it's a privilege for her to use it, right? Okay. All smoke and mirrors. All smoke and mirrors. This is just a big game to her. And I'll tell you something. She talks a big game, but in reality, you got rid of Rarity, in my personal opinion, but I'm 100 on this, in Wisconsin. You lost Rarity in Wisconsin and conveniently got that kitten you always wanted, who conveniently learned how to play fetch. How come you never bring up Rarity anymore? I'll tell you a story. And I've already told this story before. So when I was a teenager, I had a friend, and, we were teenagers, kids pretty much. And so her family had a cat, and the cat ran away. And not only did she talk about this cat for the rest of her life, but later on, when I would meet up with her, when we were way into adulthood, she would always mention her. The point I'm trying to make is, The simplest answer is true. You know why she's obsessing over Romeo? Because she doesn't care about Rarity. Amber, I'm going to say this. I never, ever say this, but this time I will. I feel like I speak for not the whole community, but the majority of this community to say that we all understand that you don't care about Rarity, that you did what you had to do in Wisconsin to stay longer there, in your mind, not in anybody else's, and that you don't think about Rarity all day long. You don't care about her. You're interested in Romeo, the new kitten. She loves cats, but only when they're kittens, my opinion. By the way, this whole thing about Tommy, I don't think we don't really need a refresher course on that. There's no way that her and Tommy are not in communication. 100% she's still talking to Tommy, in my opinion. She then goes further into her manipulative ways by talking about Alexis. She's like, oh, people were confused. People were asking. Me and Alexis never talk on the phone, but sometimes we text. Amber, you clearly implied in all of your other live streams that you had no communication with Alexis. And then in other videos, you said that you were texting her. So if you're just tuning in and you don't know what's going on, you would believe that she's not talking to Alexis. Do you know why she gives a dichotomy? Two different stories all the time. Because she wants to back herself up by telling the truth. Sometimes pathological deceivers do this when she has found out about the Alexis silly story, okay? But at the same time, she wants to push the narrative, the lie. Oh, we're not close anymore. Amber, the fact that you continue to send one word to a person that did expose you on the internet and made videos about you is indicative of how you treat people. Basically, you will take back anyone as long as they try to come back even mildly. And then she has enough audacity to say that she's unbothered and definitely not feeling lonely living by herself. You may live by yourself, but your mom does a lot for you. Most things that she shouldn't be doing. She also says that she would never drive even if she could. You know, for years, she had been saying the opposite, that, oh, you know, she got to get her license. Here's the thing, nothing wrong with not driving, okay? Some people are genuinely afraid to drive, and I understand that. I'm not coming for her for that at all. But why lie about it for such a long time? And as far as her being unbothered, girl, bye. You respond to every single thing reaction channels say. This video that you just did, this live stream proves it, that you are so obsessed with reaction channels that you repeat what they say in their videos. But you're unbothered? If you were unbothered, you wouldn't even be making these videos where you're trolling people with crowns on. Then somebody starts talking to her about her makeup, and she says that she thinks that she looks beautiful, narcissistic Lynn. And she says that when people judge other people's makeup or say they don't like somebody's makeup, it's weird energy. And y'all know how much I love agreeing with Amberlynn Reid. But at this point, I have to agree. It's not so much that it's weird energy. Let's just say it for what it is, in my opinion. But I'm 100 on this. When women, it's always women telling other women that their makeup doesn't look good. Now, look, I don't agree with anything that Amber does, and I don't even care about her makeup. This is the last thing on my mind. I don't even know how she does her makeup, and I don't care. Irrelevant. However she does it, irrelevant. When women, because it's always women telling other women they don't like their makeup, it's always to a woman that they already don't like. So there are so many different things that you could come for, you know, with Amber's behavior. Who cares about her makeup? And I believe that there's always a fraction of people that are going to say, well, you know, we genuinely just don't care for her makeup. Wonderful. But I think just in general, aside from that, when women tell other women they don't like their makeup, it's not because of some deep concern for artistic expression of makeup. Please. It's because they're just trying to stick it to them because they don't like them. And I agree with Amber, and I very rarely agree with her, that it's like, why would you tell somebody that you don't like their makeup? Also, in Amber's case, it's completely irrelevant. She loves herself way too much, and she keeps saying that she's beautiful throughout this video. Rinse, lather, here we are. One last point. I wanted to talk about this comment that's one of the top comments in her live stream right now. It says, quote, I can't afford GLPs, buys a 1,400 camera she doesn't know how to use to do a job she hasn't done properly in 5 months. I would say she hasn't done this job properly, you know, for longer than that. But I agree with this comment. And what I wanted to say about it is this. Within reason, of course, but whenever Amber says that she can't afford something, it means she doesn't want to do something. She has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on whatever she wanted. Okay, the bills that she has a month are all about her wants and desires and needs. I'm not talking about things like, you know, paying her rent or keeping the lights on, Pookie. It's about the fact that she doesn't want to get certain things. So she'll say she can't afford it to get more people to join her membership. She bought this camera, in my opinion, as I've said, to only write it off. You know that she's going to use her phone. And the term vlogging is really a strong term for what you're going to do during Vlogmas, Pookie. My point is, she can always afford things, okay? She clearly has people giving her money, in my opinion. Not a fact, but I'm 100 on this behind the scenes. And she makes fantastic money from YouTube. So the point is, she bought that camera. She can say that she bought it, and then she could write it off. And the problem here is that she can always afford other things, but she doesn't want to afford it. Not wanting to afford something and not being able to afford something are two totally different things. All right, that's about it for today's video. I want to thank you all so very much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Let me know your thoughts, comments in the comments down below. Check out this other video that's popping up here on a similar topic. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.
You know Amberlynn Reid? You know Foodie Beauty? What? You watch YouTube? You got a bank account?